Keek on the mic, Keek on the mic. Keek on the mic, Keek on the mic. People, this the intro. Sacramento, California, born and raised. And Antelope is where I spend most of my days. Talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Like always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you also follow me on all my social media platforms to stay connected with all Keek on the Mic news. So, Bears fans, we are going to have a little fun today on the podcast, as I wanted to rank my top 10 free agent targets for the Chicago Bears, going from 10 to 1. And as always, feel free to comment on my rankings and also tell me how you rank potential Chicago Bears free agent targets, and comment down below in the comment section. I would love to hear from you guys. So as it stands right now, and this is not in any particular order, but as it stands, the Chicago Bears' biggest needs this offseason are D-line, offensive line, wide receiver, and linebacker. I'm not sure if you guys agree with those needs, but I'm pretty sure that most of you guys will agree that those are the Chicago Bears' biggest needs going into the offseason. So starting at number 10 for me is linebacker TJ Edwards. And for most of you guys, TJ Edwards may be a little bit higher, but for me, he is at number 10. He currently plays for the Philadelphia Eagles. He is only 26 years old, and he has been a huge part of the success that the Philadelphia Eagles defense has been this season. He has totaled 159 tackles, which is fifth in the NFL this season. He is good against the run. He is good against in coverage, and he's also really good at generating pressure on the quarterback. He is the total package. And the thing I like about TJ Edwards is he has a really cool story. Much like Jack Sanborn, he was an undrafted free agent a couple of years ago, and he has just gotten better and better each season. So TJ Edwards is in line for a huge payday this offseason. And I would love for the Chicago Bears, if the Philadelphia Eagles, in fact, do let him go, I would love for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears to consider bringing TJ Edwards to Chicago and pairing him with Jack Sanborn for the Chicago Bears defense. I would absolutely love to see that. At number 9 for me, we're going with another linebacker in Bobby Okereke. And the only reason I have Okereke over TJ Edwards is he knows Matt Eberflus's defensive scheme. He is from the Indianapolis Colts, so it would be a smooth transition to the Chicago Bears. And much like TJ Edwards, this man is an absolutely tackling machine. In back-to-back seasons, he has eclipsed over 100 tackles. When you watch this guy on tape, he is all over the field. And what makes this so impressive is that he got more of an opportunity with the Indianapolis Colts this year because of the unfortunate injuries to the Colts defense. So he took advantage of his opportunity with the Colts, and he absolutely has been nails for the Colts. He is only 26 years old. He won't demand top dollar money, much like Roquan Smith. And like I mentioned, it would be a smooth transition since he already knows the Matt Eberflus defensive scheme. And much like TJ Edwards, I would absolutely love to see Bobby Okereke and Jack Sanborn be paired together for the Chicago Bears defense. I feel like it would be a really good signing for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears. Coming in at number 8 for me is right tackle Mike Mcglinchey. He is 28 years old, stands at 6'8". And when you look at Mike Mcglinchey, he has had his up and downs with the San Francisco 49ers. When you look at his strengths, it's definitely his ability as a run blocker. I would love to see him improve a little bit more as a pass blocker, which he did take some huge strides this season as a pass protector, but he still has a long road to go. The reason why I have him ranked at 8 and ahead of guys like TJ Edwards and Bobby Okereke, because we all know that the Chicago Bears offensive line is putrid. I feel like Mike Mcglinchey would be an upgrade at right tackle over guys like Riley Reeve or Larry Borum, right? But I still think he needs to improve as a pass blocker, right? And when you look at Mike Mcglinchey, it would also be a smooth transition, as the San Francisco 49ers and the Chicago Bears offensive schemes are very similar. So it'd be a smooth transition to this offensive line. I do feel like he would be a slight upgrade. He's not the best right tackle on the market, but I do feel like he would be a slight upgrade over the guys that we currently have on this offensive line. And like I say, he's not the best option. You could also look at guys like Caleb McGarry, which I know some of you guys may have on your list of potential free agent target for the Chicago Bears. But for me personally, I think Mcglinchey would be a solid add for Ryan Poles in the Chicago Bears offensive line. Coming in at number 7 for me is edge rusher Yannick Ngakoue. I've talked a lot about Yannick Ngakoue. Ngakoue has been really productive the last 2 seasons, totaling 19 and a half sacks. So the one thing you could say about Ngakoue, he is productive. The Chicago Bears need defensive line help. They need more of an edge presence. They only got to the quarterback 20 times this season. That is absolutely putrid. Ngakoue would go a long way of making the Chicago Bears defensive line a whole lot better, and he would bring that much needed edge presence that the Chicago Bears were missing last season. The best part about Yannick Ngakoue, and it feels like he's been in the league for so long, Yannick Ngakoue is only 27 years old, so he's still very well in his prime. I feel like this would be a fantastic add for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears defense. Coming in at number 6, I'm going with another right tackle, this time in Jawaan Taylor. Jawaan Taylor is only 25 years old, stands at 6'5". And when you look at Jawaan Taylor, he had a really good year protecting Trevor Lawrence, only allowing pressure on just 2.5% on his dropbacks, which is the 3rd lowest mark among tackles. He really elevated his game as a pass protector. And as we all know, just looking at Justin Fields was stacked 55 times. Justin Fields was on his back way too much this season. So Ryan Poles' goal should be to protect Justin Fields, build in the trenches, offensive line, defensive line. Jawaan Taylor would go a long way of making this offensive line a whole lot better. And the reason why I have him ahead of guys like Mike Mcglinchey, once again, he's only 25 years old compared to Mike Mcglinchey being 28 years old. So I do feel like he would be a slightly better option than Mike Mcglinchey. So I think Jawaan Taylor would put the Bears offensive line in the right direction as we look to better protect Justin Fields this season. Coming in at number 5, and this is a guy that I haven't talked about really at all during any of my mock offseason videos for the Chicago Bears, but that is defensive line Javon Hargrave from the Philadelphia Eagles. He is 29 years old, 6'2", 305 pounds, and I know that age may kind of scare people. He's 29 years old, Keek. He's a little bit older, on the older side. Why not go get Draymond Jones? Why not just focus on getting Daron Payne? But when you look at defensive linemen, this is my answer to that. When you look at defensive linemen, it looks like they're starting to play a little bit longer, well into their 30s, and being able to play at a high level. And we all know that the Bears need to look at all options on the defensive line to try to add to that very putrid defensive line. We need a solid three-tech defensive lineman that can not only stuff the run, but can get after the quarterback as well. And when you look at a guy like Javon Hargrave, he can do it all. Hargrave has been a force for the Philadelphia Eagles this season, turning into one of the more elite interior pass rushers in the NFL the last few seasons. He had 11 sacks this year and 19 sacks total the last 2 years with the Philadelphia Eagles. So this guy has been productive. And the thing I love about Hargrave is that he will do anything that you ask of him. If you need him to stop the run, he'll stop the run. If you need him to get after the quarterback, he will get after the quarterback. For me personally, Daron Payne is still my top guy in terms of adding to this defensive line. But if we miss out on Daron Payne, I would absolutely love to take a look at Javon Hargrave and try to get him to Chicago to really help this putrid Bears defensive line. Coming in at number 4, which is one of my favorite guys, I really hope the Bears are able to get him, as guard Ben Powers. He's 26 years old, 6'4", 338 pounds. As we all know, it's looking more likely by the day that the Chicago Bears can look to cut Cody Whitehair. He's 31 years old, has some injury issues. He's kind of been inconsistent up and down in his play. So they definitely can look to upgrade at the guard position. They have to look to upgrade at many positions on the offensive line, but definitely at that guard position. You know that the Bears are set at right guard with Tevin Jenkins, but adding one more guard on the left side to replace Cody Whitehair would be absolutely huge for this Bears offensive line. And that's where guard Ben Powers comes in. And I feel like he would absolutely be an upgrade for the Chicago Bears offensive line. When you look at Ben Powers, just looking at him this season, he gave up 0 sacks and only 1 QB hit. That is all year long. I think that's an absolutely incredible stat. That gets me excited. He is an absolutely great pass protector. He can still improve a little bit in run blocking. But for me personally, I'm looking guys that can pass protect, right? Because once again, Justin Fields got sacked way too many times this last season. So Ryan Poles needs to upgrade this offensive line, and Ben Powers would go a long way in upgrading the Chicago Bears offensive line and keeping Justin Fields upright. I would absolutely love the signing for the Chicago Bears. Coming in at number 3, and this is a guy that I've talked a lot about, and that is center Ethan Pocic. We have to upgrade at center. Once again, I'll repeat this until I'm blue in the face. I've said this on multiple podcasts. We cannot go into next season with Sam Mustipher or Lucas Patrick as the starting centers for the Chicago Bears. Center should be the most important addition for the Chicago Bears this offseason. Ryan Poles has to get an upgrade at center, and I feel that Ethan Pocic would be that upgrade for the Chicago Bears. When you look at Ethan Pocic, he had a really good season as a pass protector, as a run blocker. He was the full package for the Cleveland Browns. He would be an upgrade over Sam Mustipher, over Lucas Patrick. I don't think I have to talk too much about that. I think you guys will all be in agreement with that. He is still only, I believe, 26 years old, so he can come in right away, be the starter for Justin Fields, and hopefully give us some stability on that offensive line, especially when you look at the center position. The Bears can very well draft a rookie center as well, but I feel like I would be a little bit more comfortable adding a veteran guy like Ethan Pocic. He's still very well young, still has a lot left in the tank, and he would very well be an upgrade for the Chicago Bears offensive line. Coming in at number 2, and I know a lot of Bears fans really don't want the Bears to get this guy, but for me, I'm still very high on him. It's left tackle Orlando Brown Jr. From the Kansas City Chiefs. I will agree with you guys. I know I came on in the past in my mock offseason videos and talked about that in one of those videos I said we're going to have to give him $25 million a year. I don't think he's worth that. I know he had a slow start to the year, but after week 10 and even in the playoffs, he definitely had a bounce back. I feel like he is consistent. I feel like it just depends where the Bears feel like in terms of where they want Braxton Jones. You can obviously move Braxton Jones maybe to the right tackle side, bring in Orlando Brown Jr. It all just depends. But this guy has been playing at a high level. Like I said, yes, he did have a slow start this year. He bounced back from weeks 10 now into the playoffs. So I feel like this would be a solid addition for the Bears offensive line in terms of what he's going to command in money. That's what may kind of ruin it in the Bears possibly signing him. I'm not sure if he's worth $25 million a year. But if we can maybe get that down a little bit, maybe like in the $16-18 million a year range, maybe we can start talking. But I do feel that Orlando Brown Jr. would be an outstanding add to the Chicago Bears offensive line. We have to look at all options to make this offensive line better, because we all know that the Chicago Bears offensive line just was not good enough. So we have to do our due diligence. And I think Ryan Poles, especially coming from Kansas City, will take a look at Orlando Brown Jr. If the price is too high, that's fine. But if we're able to work out a deal maybe to bring him into Chicago, I think it would be a solid addition for the Chicago Bears offensive line. And my number 1 prospect, I already know, you guys probably know what I'm going to say. It's defensive lineman Daron Payne. If Daron Payne makes it out of Washington, I am all over him. The Chicago Bears defensive line is putrid. I don't have to say it again. We need to upgrade the trenches. Daron Payne would be the perfect piece to begin that defensive line transformation. He's 25 years old, 6'3", 320 pounds. And Payne, when you look at Payne, he has always been very stout against the run, which is absolutely incredible. But he has continued year in and year out to build on his pass rush arsenal, and he has been an absolute problem for interior offensive linemen. Payne, check this out, Bears fan. Payne has 95 quarterback pressures since 2021 with an 11.8% pass rush win rate over the same span. So all in all, Daron Payne is an absolute monster, and he would make an absolute difference on this Chicago Bears defensive line. I am hoping Washington is dumb enough to let him go, because if he does hit free agency, I think Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears at least should be all over Daron Payne and do everything in their power to get this man to be a Chicago Bear. So that is my Chicago Bears potential free agent target rankings, going from 10 to 1. How do you guys feel about my rankings? Is there anyone that I missed? Or how would you rank the players that I have on my list? Let me know down below in the comment section. It's going to be a fun offseason. I cannot wait for free agency to start. It's coming up in a little bit over a month. So as we go through all this process, make sure you smash that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, we'll be back for all new Bears podcasts right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You can